Welcome to Studio A. Our guest today is Tracey Hanton. Welcome to the studio, Tracey.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
I'm so glad you were able to come in. Let's get into it.
All right.
Where are you from?
So I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or Philly as we love to call it, home of the
Philly.
cheesesteaks.
Wonderful, wonderful. And is that where you attended high school and college?
Yes, it is.
What high school did you attend?
So I went to Germantown High School. I graduated in the class of 1985. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, telling my age, but I'm okay with that. And then I ended up, I did go to an HBCU. I
Wonderful.
spent 1 year at Morgan State University.
Okay.
And then I ended up getting my degree at Temple University and my master's at LaSalle University.
Very nice. And what did you study in college?
I studied communications.
You did?
I did.
Why
I did.
communications?
Short story, well, long story short.
Okay.
I was given 5 choices in high school of things that I could do when I decided to go away.
Okay.
And none of them appealed to me. The only thing that was of a grave interest was business. And so I decided to do international business with a minor in French because I had taken French. But what someone forgot to tell me is that business requires a lot of math, and math was not my strong suit.
Gotcha. What brought you to Fort Wayne?
I ended up in Fort Wayne. Had been at my previous job for about 11 years at my previous college, and I needed a new change.
Okay.
And so I applied for a job out here at PFW.
Okay. And what do you do for PFW?
I am the Associate Director of Career Development.
And what do you do?
I assist students and alumni with trying to figure out what they want to do. So my hashtag is hashtag I love my job, hashtag I love my career, because I get to do what I love to do, and that's help people figure it out.
Help people figure it out. It sounds like a challenging job in a good way.
It is, but it's definitely very rewarding. And I think it really just stemmed from the poor advice that I got in high school.
Okay.
Because I floundered around for a little bit
right.
with that business and minor in French because I didn't have a lot of guidance.
Okay. Have you ever utilized your French?
Just in gesture and joking, speaking with people.
Okay.
I know a little bit, parlez-vous français, oui je parle français, that kind of thing. So I can speak a little bit, I can understand a little bit. I didn't stay in the major that long.
Okay.
Because it was really difficult for me.
Yeah.
And when I went away to school, I ended up meeting a counselor in a trio type of program.
Okay.
And they just asked me, what do you see yourself doing?
Okay.
Don't tell me a job title or anything.
But what do you see yourself doing?
And I described it.
Okay.
And she sent me off with 3 classes, and she said, take these classes, come back and see me at the end of the semester. And she sent me off with 3 communication classes.
And you flourished. Yeah.
I did.
And look at how you're utilizing that skill now.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Always.
Have you enjoyed being at PFW?
I have.
It's a good fit.
It is. It is. I've been in career development since 2008.
Wow.
I have had an opportunity to really do what I enjoy doing.
Okay.
And I didn't even realize that even before I got into career development, that I had been doing it when I was in the church with different ministries and things. I had been doing all of the stuff that I do today.
Unbeknownst to you,
Yep.
you were.
I didn't even know it was a job.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Now let's talk about you and the HBCU.
Yep, Morgan State.
Morgan State. Why do you think it's important to go to a HBCU? Why was it important for you?
So I think for me, it was important because to be honest, my brother had went to a HBCU, and he
Okay.
was the first in our family to go.
Okay.
So he went to A&T,
Uh-huh.
and the joy that he had that we got to see from him being in the band and just really having that fit with people that look like you.
Uh-huh.
And so I said, hey, I want to go here. They had they had lots of good programs. I knew people that had been there.
Uh-huh.
I didn't go with friends, but I knew people that had went there in years past and everything.
Okay.
And for all intents purposes, except the finances, it really was a good fit for me then too.
Okay. All right. So we've jumped around a bit. We're back here in Fort Wayne where you're working at the university. And have you always been in career development at PFW?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And let's talk about what else you do. You have, let's see here, you're a certified travel agent
Yes, I am.
at Praiseworthy Travel. Let's talk a bit about that. What do you do?
So I help people plan vacations, go to resorts, travel out of the country, wherever it is that they want to go. And I really try to be as close to full service as I possibly can. So not only will I find their hotels or their resorts that they want, I'll look up the activities, I'll give them information about the area. So all of those things, really making sure that at the end of the day, that they're going to really be able to have a great time. Because it's about making memories.
Yeah.
And so nobody wants to wake up to a horror story. And if there is a horror story, I want to be able to jump right in and figure out how to help them fix it before
Okay.
it gets too bad.
Okay. So all over the world you do?
Wherever it is that they
Whatever destination they want to go to.
destination they want to go to.
Wow. Wow. Now, do you travel?
I do.
Where,
I don't get to travel as much as I would
as
like,
you'd
but
like.
I do.
Where's the best place that you've been thus far?
Probably currently was the cruise to the Bahamas.
Really?
Yeah.
How
And
many days?
We were there for, I think it was about 5 days.
A 5-day cruise.
It was a 5-day cruise. Now, I will preface it with, we went in October,
Okay.
and we ended up being in the midst of a storm.
Oh my goodness gracious. A storm at sea.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
just really rocky waters. But I think it really just had to do with the group of friends that I was with.
Really?
And we knew it was rocky waters, but we really we made the best of it. We had a great time.
Yeah.
And to this day, we're like, oh, we should plan another one. Where should we go? Should we do Greece? So we're all thinking about where should that next kind of, for us, probably more like a reunion kind of trip.
Now, what did you like about the Bahamas?
The food,
The food.
the culture,
Okay.
the atmosphere. And like I said, I think part of it really just was
friends.
the people that I was with.
Yeah.
It was a singles group. That's kind of how we met on a TV show that we had been taping back in Philadelphia.
A TV show? What?
Yep. Single on a Saturday night. Shout out to Shelly Shell, Philly's Oprah. That's what we call her. But yeah, that was a great time period. Right before I actually came out here.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was a great time period. So yeah.
Wow. Well, you have had a life. You've had a life, Miss Lady. So tell me why it's called Praiseworthy Travel, because you also have Praiseworthy Candles, which we'll talk about next.
It is called Praiseworthy because praiseworthy really is a standard of excellence. And there's a scripture in the Bible where it talks about what things to think on. And it says, if whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are praiseworthy, think on these things. And by having a standard of excellence and thinking on praiseworthy, when you think of something like that, you're going to be able to think of all entities of my business.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Now let's talk about Praiseworthy Candles. How did you get into the candle making business, and why candles?
So the story behind the candles is I actually did not start off with candles or the travel. I
Oh.
actually started off as a wedding coordinator.
Really?
Yes, I was a wedding coordinator. I ran, and it still exists, but it's Praiseworthy Creations and Events. That's what my company started out as.
Okay.
And as I was working with brides, I decided I wanted to be full service.
Okay.
So I wanted to be able to help them with their honeymoon. So that's how I added in the travel. And then I decided I wanted to have gift baskets for them, help them with their kind of gifting needs and things of that nature.
Uh-huh.
And then one day I decided, as I was doing these gift baskets for the families, for
And
the
the bridal
brides and all
party.
of that, I decided I really wanted my own product
Okay.
in the basket. That's really how it started. I wanted my
Instead of
own
seeking
product
out products to
to
do
put
the
into them.
baskets.
Yep, I wanted my own.
Uh-huh.
So I started researching. I really at that time, and this was almost 20 years ago, I
Okay.
really, even at that time, was really into the idea of self-care. We weren't calling it self-care at that time.
Okay.
We just were like, ooh, you should pamper yourself.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to make sure that I pampered them. And so I began looking at lotions, body washes, and I started making all of those kind of products.
Okay. Is it difficult
Soaps.
to do?
It can be. For me, it was just time consuming.
Okay, because you're a one man operation.
Yes, yeah.
One woman operation.
Yes. And I then decided, you know what? I want to focus on one piece if I'm going to make it, and I want to basically perfect
And
my
do it
formula.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, one
And
area
so
and do it well. And so you decided candles.
I decided candles, and then I began to do more extensive research on the type of wax that I wanted to use.
Okay.
And so I ended up selecting soy wax.
Soy wax.
Yep, for its natural component.
Okay.
My sister, a lot of my family members, they had breathing issues.
Okay.
And so I wanted something that would be a lot less harmful and less toxic for them.
Uh-huh.
And so that's how I ended up settling on the soy wax.
Now, is it easy to add scent to soy wax?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it burns and the fragrance is...
Yep, the fragrance burns really well.
Uh-huh.
As long as you are kind of testing and monitoring your candle wicks, a lot of components when it comes to candles is really in the wick.
Really?
Yep, it's really in the wick. And again, that's from years of going to classes, studying, listening to people that work at the National Candle Association, and really just making sure that I stay abreast with what's really going on. So,
The National Candle Association?
yes.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yes, there is. I have people cracking up because I tell them, yeah, I'm actually in Candle University right now, and I've been in this cohort, and I've been going to the Black Candle Makers University, and sitting with people that are in the industry.
Wow.
Not just candle makers, but the former president of the National Candle Association. So
Okay.
when there are new things coming out, we have access to be able to find out what those new things are.
Okay.
Last week I just sat in, believe it or not, on a fire safety training
Yeah.
to find out what are going to be some of the new requirements that us as candle makers are going to have to
Adhere to.
configure and adhere to.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I want to make a good product,
Uh-huh.
but I want to make a safe product.
Yeah. Now, speaking of your product, if one is interested in purchasing your candles, how do they do that? How do they get a hold of you?
They can go to my website. My website's www.praiseworthycandles.com. They can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook and TikTok, as well as Instagram as Instagram as Praiseworthy Candles.
Okay.
Or they can reach out to me on my Facebook page and follow me there under Tracey Hanton if they want to do that.
Okay.
But those are all of the ways to reach me.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And what is the price range of your candles? I'm assuming it depends on the size.
Yes, so I do wax melts. My wax melts, they run about $5.
Okay.
And then I can go anywhere up to about $35. That's my luxury line.
Okay.
And I have about 2 candles in that kind of collection. But
Okay.
I have a wide variety of everyday scents like lavender, lavender sage. But I also have fresh and clean cotton. And then I have things that are more masculine and earthy like finesse. And then I have my wine collection with Merlot and Moscato. So those types of things.
It sounds very exotic and lovely. So let's talk about how does your faith inform? I can tell you're a woman of faith, and from what you've shared with us thus far. But how does your faith inform your work? Whether it's PFW, whether it's Praiseworthy Travel or Candles?
For me, everything that I do, I really believe falls in line with the gifts that God has given me.
Okay.
So I really, like, even when I think about what I do at PFW, I really look at it as my God assignment.
Okay. You work for God. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's how I operate. So from praying in the morning about what it is that I need to do, guarding my mouth, my lips, all of those things, and really being able to have that guidance and have Him lead me, so that when you think of someone's career and you think of what someone wants to do with their life, and students may be struggling with what their parents are telling them they need to do, what they would like to do, what other people are telling them they need to do. You have to be very careful in terms of how you are giving them information and providing them with that level of guidance. I take it that serious. Somebody else might not take it that seriously, but I do.
Okay.
When it comes to my candles, I really believe that there's this level of transference when you are working with these candles. So if I'm in a bad mood, I'm in a nasty attitude or anything like that, I don't go in to make candles, because I don't want that transferring into the atmosphere of the candles, because that candle is going in your home, that candle is going into your space, and it's designed to do something for you. It's designed to help you create an atmosphere, whether it's an atmosphere of loving self-care, whether it's an atmosphere of peace, an atmosphere for you to be able to be motivated, whatever it is, it's doing something. And so I have to make sure that I'm in that right space, in that right frame of mind.
And speaking of where you go to make the candles, where do you go to make the candles? You make them from your home?
Yes, I do.
You do in a garage or in a kitchen?
I have a workshop up. I have a workshop.
You have a workshop.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I work in that space.
Wow.
And then I go out to different events and have them set to go onto the website and ship them out as necessary.
Okay. Now, when you and I were talking and you just shared that bit with me, it reminded me of two things. The part about the spirituality, that God decrease me and increase you is one of them. And the other one is the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delighteth in His way. So I totally get what you're saying about being spiritually grounded and rooted before you go out into the world or do anything.
Definitely.
What is your favorite Bible verse? Do you have a favorite, a go-to?
I do not have one favorite.
Okay.
I really have a variety, and it really just depends on where I'm at in that particular season.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have one exact favorite. So
Gotcha. Now, did you grow up in the church?
I did not.
You did not.
I did not.
How did you come to know the Lord?
I ended up, now, I went to church
Yeah.
for Easter with my dad because that was his weekend to have us. So I went to
Okay.
church with him for that. But my mom always had us in a Christian school.
Uh-huh.
She had us in Christian summer camps.
Okay.
We went to vacation Bible study.
Okay.
But when I was probably about 15, I had a girlfriend who went to church every week. And one day I just started going with her.
Okay.
And I started going with her. And then I eventually ended up going to a church that a lot of my family members were at. And I actually came to know the Lord in my cousin's basement at Bible study.
Wow. Wow.
At his Bible study.
Okay.
That's really how I came to know the Lord. And I probably was about 17.
Okay. That's young.
Yeah.
Not a
So-
baby, but that's young.
Yeah.
Well, compared to my age now, it is a baby. So you've been walking with the Lord ever since.
Yes. Sometimes not as straight as I would love to have been. But
Honey,
hey.
that's all of us.
But you know.
That's the
yes.
walk period.
Yeah.
That's all of us. That's all of us.
At the end of the day, I may have turned this way, but he was always there, so.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the next, where would you like to be in the next 5 to 10 years?
I don't have an exact destination,
Okay.
but I know that it's going to have caused me to continuously grow. My businesses will be flourishing.
Okay.
My hope is to, by that time, get back into some of the nonprofit arenas that I was doing before I came out here.
Okay.
I used to do a breast cancer pink tea.
Oh, really?
Yes, and so I'm hoping to be able to get back to those realms
Okay.
of fundraising
Okay.
and that sort of thing.
That's what you'd like to do.
Oh yeah.
Do you see yourself staying in Fort Wayne, or do you see yourself going back to Philly?
I don't see myself being here for forever,
Okay.
however that long is. But I don't think I'm going back to Philly itself, but I will probably be back somewhere on that East
On the East
Coast.
Coast?
And yeah, just because my mom's older,
Yeah,
9 hours away.
that's a long way.
That's a trek. So.
Yeah. What do you like about the East Coast?
The cheesesteaks, the pretzels, the culture. But I think it's also what I like about being in Fort Wayne, watching the up and coming levels of culture.
Okay.
So I remember when I first got here, the first thing I did is, I guess that was the year they had really started looking at murals.
Okay.
And that was my first time actually meeting Mayor Henry, may he rest in peace, but that was my first time meeting him. And it was over at the Civic Center, Civic area, the Civic Theater, and they were having everyone in the community come in, look at the different options that Fort Wayne was thinking about in terms of bringing more culture and bringing more art to the area with murals and things of that nature. And Philadelphia is a space and a place for murals.
Okay.
So being able to be a part of that level of
And
of
see that
culture.
here,
Yeah.
right here in Fort Wayne. Speaking of artistic things, last night you attended a show.
Yes, I got to see the Jersey Boys.
Okay, and how was it?
That was absolutely fabulous.
Now, you shared with me off camera that part of the reason why you loved it was because it was about Philadelphia.
It was about Jersey, and Jersey's right over the bridge. So we call Jersey, Delaware, and Philadelphia. We kind of call that our tri-state area. And so anything that's Jersey is very
Hits home.
very very near to my heart.
Close to your heart.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed the Jersey Boys.
I did.
What did you like about it?
The music. If you have never listened to anything from Frankie Valli, and I am someone that's just musically eclectic, and I have grown up in my basement dancing to almost anything in the 60s, etc. So a lot of the songs that Frankie Valli sang are things that me and my sister would sing, and of course one of the songs is Dawn, and that's my sister's name. So so we definitely knew that one.
Yeah.
So it was just very great, very reminiscent, and quality acting.
Quality acting. Right here in Fort Wayne.
Yes, quality acting.
Oh, wow. Well, Miss Tracey, our time has come to an end. I want to tell you thank you so much for coming into the studio. I've so enjoyed talking with you.
Thank you for having me.
It went by fast.
It did.
Yeah, it did. And we'll invite you back into the studio to let us know what you're doing.
All righty.
Okay. And thank you for tuning in, and be blessed.